Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening?
What's going on, everyone?
We are gonna do love and relationships with Canton and Ramona Jones. We're gonna talk about the real. It's gonna be
interesting.
And she sat on this side because this is the arm that she punches.
It's not true. This is just my best side.
Since we just getting straight to it.
Okay.
How is it your best side? You like right in front of
the hair and everything works when I'm like this.
Okay, I got it.
Yes.
That I don't understand, but
hey.
Well, shoot, this is my best side too. So
you gotta turn this way though. That's not gonna work.
We're gonna work out. So all right, so. We're just gonna address a couple things today. We're gonna address how important is time. We're different though, because we're living our literal lives together. Like you know how you say I want to spend my life with you, but we are spending our literal lives together, which means we work together, we travel together, we do everything together. There are times that she stay home with the kids or what have you, but for the most part, when you see me, you see her. This is my living shadow. A lot of people can't do that. A lot of people are like, don't you have a friend or a job or a hobby?
Yeah.
I asked somebody close to your family, can they spend their literal lives? And they was like, nope.
We won't name who those people are.
Yeah. It's like, you got 8 hours of work, or you leave for work at 7. Or you leave to work at 7:30, whatever, to get to work at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and you got that time, all the way up to what, 5 or 4 sometimes, to be with your other co-workers or what have you, and you're not spending time with your spouse, So, do you feel like that weighs over time?
Well, we did it in the beginning. I had a job when we got married.
For like.
I had a job and
3 weeks.
No, longer than that. And you were in the studio a lot, so we had that time off. So I can imagine what that feels like.
Right.
But there are people who create, which is crazy, work wives and work husbands because that's a thing, and they spend 8 hours or more away from their real husbands and wives. So they have work wives and work husbands.
What is
I think that is so dangerous.
You got a clock-in wife. Oh, you got a double life.
Yeah, you have a double life.
It's based off, but it's the law of time. Like you can't get around. I mean, you can get around it, of course, because you have to learn to communicate with your spouse throughout the day. Through text, through.
If it's possible, y'all have lunch together, anything.
Video messages or something like that. But I mean, if they work far away from each other, then that's kind of hard to do. But you got to figure it out, man. You got to FaceTime and just have her there, and and then. And
she needs to, or he needs to know who you're working with.
The atmosphere.
There are husbands and wives that don't even know their spouse's co-workers, which I could not imagine that.
Fellas, tell on your hoes.
Okay.
Tell on them like baby. There's a promiscuous young lady that's in there. She flirts with me. Tell the truth.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't want to walk in and, I mean, now the trip about it is if he offers that information, be cool with him offering the information. Don't be mad at him because he's telling you that somebody's attracted to him and somebody flirts with him or whatever, and he's being honest. Because if you do that, then he's not going to bring that to you anymore.
True.
So, if a man is saying, hey, look, this girl here, she's attractive, but she's attracted to me, and I just want to let you know who she is. FaceTime, she might walk up to my desk, you might see her.
Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. Don't worry.
Yeah, but if a man is being honest, however you handle it, you handle it. But if a man is being honest, I'm saying based off of the relationship here, because no matter what happens to her, is it gonna damage here? My wife says she got her snipers. She might do her sniper thing, but after you snipe her, are we still straight?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing. A lot of times, and early in our relationship, I was like, man, I ain't worried about dude. I ain't worried about him. I'm worried about you, because you're the constant.
Right.
You're the one that's going to constantly be here. I'm not trying to defend my honor against every man that's attracted to you and trying to say something to you. That's that's too much effort. That's too much. Nah, I ain't do it. You're attractive, and people are gonna be attractive. They're gonna say something. I expect you to handle that.
Right.
Not necessarily me have to come in. Look here, man. This is my wife, and blah 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 blah. Nah, man. So that time thing is a real factor. And we learned as parents too that it's when we started getting our relationship stronger, that doesn't necessarily mean that the kids are strong.
Right.
And so
we say that we learned how to cleave, but we have to cleave to our family too.
Right.
You can cleave to your children.
We learned that during COVID.
Right.
During COVID, we kind of learned. I know I learned that I don't know my kids as much as I thought I did. And so. I was intentional about getting that time spent with them. Now, Love Jones at 5 years old told me that I'd keep leaving and all that, and I fixed that. But as her brothers came, and as another brother came, and as another brother came, it goes from playing catch to juggling act. You know what I'm saying? And you got to make sure that you spend time with each and every one of them. So time is very crucial.
And every kid is different too. That they want your time in a different way.
Yeah.
Somebody may want you to play catch, but somebody just wants you to watch TV with them.
Right.
In their room.
Right.
Watch Barbie a million times, but you do it.
The Love Jones. Yeah. And also, don't think because you are supplying their needs and buying food
that's
and
enough.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Nobody, your kids are not going to say, Dad, boy, I'm really proud of you how you paid that light bill, man. I mean, you paid the heck out of that light bill, Daddy.
You did that so fly.
Oh, my God, Dad. I just told my whole class how you brought groceries, how you just came in like a hero.
Yeah, that's a given in their head.
And so, but really, the extra time spent, you got to learn to play games with them, or, in our house, my time with them is music.
Yeah.
They make beats. It's a beat making machine in this house, because that's another way for us to spend time together. And so, we are intentional about the time we spend. We still have to date. We still have to do lunch. We still have to do movies. We still have to go out. And she goes out of town with me. And I love spending time with my wife. I ain't saying it because she's here. Because if I didn't, I'd be in the studio.
Right.
And I am in the studio a lot, but she's right outside that door, and so I'm trying to get her in the studio more for herself. Anyway, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But time is very necessary. I feel like if you fail in the time game, your relationship is scrapped.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Whoever get the most time got the person. So if you spend more time in the attention of your coworkers, then your coworkers are going to have your attention more than your husband or wife.
Or friends, or family, other family members. If you have a brother that's your favorite brother and you spend more time with them than your wife or your husband or whatever, then that's the same thing. It's not just coworkers.
Yeah, and you're going to see over time, if you weigh out your day that you leave at, for one, you might be getting ready at 6:30. 7 o'clock. So that time you're already at work focusing on what you got to do, what you have to wear. So at 6:30, you might drive. If you're in Atlanta, it's an hour everywhere in the morning. You get to work and you spend 8 hours there.
And another hour home.
And then another hour home. And then
you're tired when you get home.
You need to unwind, or you got to cook, or you got to take the kids somewhere or something. And then your relationship or your marriage pretty much get the scraps of the day, and that's, don't touch me, or, I'm tired, or, hey, it's just so much that happens, that you're trying to squeeze a whole lifetime of your relationship in those couple hours before you have to go to sleep and do it all over again.
Yep.
And so, I feel like we're blessed.
Yeah.
And I feel like even if you have a job, or if you have situations where you're pulled away, you got to make sure that you figure out a way to spend time with that spouse during the day.
That calendar, that schedule is very important.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I do. I make sure everybody has time with everybody. And that Google Calendar is very important.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on. He's traveling. We're doing this, they're doing that, all the extracurricular, the sports and everything. So we can miss each other easily throughout the week and not see each other all day.
And I've learned, because I was kind of paranoid. Well, not paranoid, but just trying to do things right and really trying to make up for lost time. So at times I felt like we always, if I'm spending time with the kids, I always at least need to be doing something. We need to be reading a book. We need to be playing chess. We need to be doing a movie. And I learned through being in the presence of God that that's not only the right place to be, but that's also an example. Mm-hmm. That, man, you don't always have to be
doing,
you know, and you're in the presence of God. Thank you. And you're praying, thank you. Holy Father, we love you. We thank you. You know, and that's just every time you're in the presence of God, you feel like you got to be doing something, singing. You got to be shouting. And sometimes it's just being there, you know, and just being in the presence. You reading a book. I play this little game that I'm addicted to on my phone. And I'm just imagining myself just sitting with God in a room. He's sitting next to me and we just chilling, not saying anything, just in the presence. There's so much peace there. There's so much tranquility there.
I see that with our 8-year-old. Because he'll just come and just climb up in the bed with us and nothing is said. You know, we don't have to do anything. We don't have to do a game or do whatever. He's just there and he wants to be in our presence.
Yeah, and I learned that my presence is just, you know, at first it was weird to just be sitting there when I could be doing so much at the studio, when I could be doing so much at the church, when I could take this meeting and that meeting, and I could really make time. I felt like I was wasting time at first, but I realized that, you know, one thing my dad did is he was there. Mm-hmm. When I came home from school, he was there. He had already did his work and he was there. He was watching TV. His door was open. And he was there, and I was like, man, that. He was just that we didn't have to always talk and all of that type of stuff, and so I had to learn to be there, just with no agenda or something, just be there. And sometimes the kids come in, Daddy, you need to listen to my beat. Daddy, you need to listen to the song that I just did, you know. And I get up. Why? Because that time is for them. Yeah. And I make sure that I'm intentional about making sure that time, you know, very seldomly do I say wait, unless I'm in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying? But very seldomly do I say wait, I'm coming later. I always try to get up right then to listen, to give them my undivided
We had to learn that because we have our studio at home, we have our offices at home, so we can always work. We always have a computer up. We always, you know, can do something. So we call it a hard stop. So, you know,
3 o'clock,
3:30, when everybody's home from school, there's no work.
Yep.
Now, of course, after they go to bed, we can do whatever. But
that was a hard thing to learn.
Yeah.
You know, and then as I learned it, God started to deal with me to say, okay, don't go too far to the left. If there's certain things that you want to work on, computer, certain things that you, as long as they have access to you, you can mix, you can do certain things.
Or
on
bring
your
them in
laptop.
and teach them. That's another thing. We taught them how to use the studio, taught them how to do the set, all this podcast, setting up the lights and the camera. We taught them all of that so they can feel like, okay, I could be a part of this. If you did have to work, you would need me.
Yeah, and so I the time is essential. Like if you fail the time thing, it's very difficult to have a strong relationship if you're losing in the time game. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not saying that if you're at work and she's at work and, you know, your husband is at work, it's not going to work. I'm saying that you have to put forth the effort to spend time, to make up for that time somewhere. Maybe it's all day Saturday you spend together. You know, of course, if you go to church, sometimes church is not necessarily a family thing. Yeah. You feel like it is because y'all are all in the same room or everybody's at the same church, but you're not communicating. Right. The pastors communicate, you're sitting there listening. Mm-hmm. You know, really, you know, if you grew up like I grew up, Church of God in Christ, coaching, you know, you're getting beat, you know, because you're making noises, or, you know, or you.
It's like being in school. It's like class. You can't talk while the teacher's talking. Yeah, it's hard.
So, we got to figure out a way to make family time, and don't let anybody interrupt that time, because sometimes certain things come up that you want to do, but you got to honor that time with your family, man. Your wife, your husband, your kids. And then so on and so forth. You know, what about your friends? Hey, friends will understand. You know, you have a responsibility to your family first, and then your friends will come along. So that's it, man. We just wanted to kind of share this. A lot of times people don't understand how subtle it is that you lost so much time because you weren't intentional about how to spend your time. God gave you time to spend. That He didn't give you money to spend. You exchange your money for time. Right. I mean, you exchange your time for money. That's how you get paid a certain amount of money per hour. Mm-hmm. So time is very important, and don't let people abuse your time, especially when it's time to spend with your wife or your husband. All right, bro, don't call me, or I'm ignoring phone calls because we just said, well, you ain't doing nothing. Yes, I am. I'm sitting here with my wife, and I'm enjoying my time. So don't and don't let your life be what I'm supposed to do. Nah, we sit down and we do what we have to do. We sneak over. We got little hole in the wall spots that we go to eat and hide and live our life together. So I feel like I've lived. We try to count. We count the lifetimes that we've been together, man. And officially we're married 22 years next month, I guess. And so, but it seemed like we've been together for a lifetime. Yeah,
but it's good. It's a good thing.
Not enough forever as a bad, but we start to reflect
that we're going to live forever, so we're going to live together forever eternally. So hey,
literally, that when she turn around, I be right here. Sometimes I be her shadow.
I'm like, bruh,
it be shadow day.
Personal space.
You know what I'm saying?
Personal
I be like,
space.
where you going?
Just over just a smidge.
I be like, where you going?
Right.
And then I be like,
and then he's back. I'm like, bruh, can you please?
I be like, man, where you going? Where you going? She's like, I'm going to the kitchen. And I be like, right there. I be her shadow. It be shadow day.
Shadow day.
Shadow. Yeah. And then sometimes I just stand there and be like, hey, what you doing? Huh? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, but I mean, it's all about spending time. Now me, I don't think I could have worked with anybody other woman.
Nobody could have handled me either.
Yeah, so we made for each other.
Oh my gosh, nobody could have handled me.
Yeah. She handles my 0 to 100s, and and they come from nowhere. They shock other people, but she know how to deal with it. She was like, he's gonna go crazy over there. Don't say that to him.
Right.
Don't. So she knows me, and then my jump be like this, and I be like, what? I'm like, yeah, and then I just go. So she can handle that,
and he can handle the non-expression. He knows exactly what's happening. Yeah. Like, this is happy, this is sad, this is perturbed. I know in the spirit when she mad. Right.
What's wrong? Nothing. Okay, nothing is a lot of nothing.
Right.
Which is a big, very big something. And then it'll come up later on. I just gotta.
And then we'll handle it.
Yes. Sometimes though, you just gotta learn how to spend time with somebody, even when they're upset. We just be quiet and let everything be what it is. Let it fizzle out.
And then ask, "Are you hungry?" And then everything's good after that.
Good.
We just go get something to eat and we're over it.
It's the time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's the time when you get upset or emotional. Be careful about who you spend your time with at that point, especially who you vent to. Because that's eventually going to be the person that you're going to have.
Against you.
Yeah, they'll use it against you, or you're going to start having feelings for that person.
Yep.
Because that person is giving you comfort, they're giving you, they're telling you the things that you want to hear. And then what you're going to do is you're going to leave your husband or your wife and realize that person that you're talking to is an idiot too.
Worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. They know how to give it to you good while you're in this little infatuation mode. Yeah, but they're an idiot too. Yeah. Let me tell you something. You go to everybody's bathroom, everybody boo-boos stink.
Okay.
So,
that's a great analogy.
It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Except yours, girl. Except
all right.
Yours.
So great to have you guys join us today. Move over. Stop.
We'll see y'all, man. We building relationships.
Bye, y'all.
With Canton and Ramona Jones. Much love.